I, 29 male, am sitting in my home office right now, staring at a framed photo of my fiancé, 27 female, and me from our engagement party last week. Most people look at their engagement photos and see the happiest night of their lives. I look at mine and see the exact moment the police arrived to haul my ex out in zip ties. To understand why my ex, 28 female, ended up in a squad car while I stayed to finish my champagne, you have to understand the level of entitlement we're dealing with. We were together for 4 years. Shared an apartment, a dog, the whole deal. 2 years ago, I found out she wasn't working late. She was having a year-long affair with her boss. When I caught her with the GPS pings and phone records, she didn't even blink. She told me that if I had been a better boyfriend, she wouldn't have needed to look elsewhere. Basically, her cheating was my fault. I dumped her that night, took my dog, and moved out. But she isn't the type to accept being dumped. In her head, she's the main character, and I'm just an extra who went off script. For 2 years, she harassed me. She emailed my HR claiming I was stealing. She called my mom at 3 a.m. When I started dating my now fiancé, she went nuclear. She'd show up at our gym, our grocery store, and eventually our front porch at midnight. 6 months ago, I finally got a permanent restraining order, Pro. I had 400 logged calls, security footage of her slashing my tires, and coworker affidavits. The judge told her to stay 500 feet away from my home, my job, and me. No contact, no exceptions. She literally laughed in court and whispered to her lawyer that the law doesn't apply to soulmates. Fast forward to our engagement party last Saturday. We rented out the mezzanine of a nice bistro downtown. Formal dress code, 60 guests, family, and close friends. I'm not a paranoid guy, but I know how she thinks, so I hired 2 off-duty officers to stand at the door. If someone thinks they own you, a piece of paper from a judge is just a suggestion. The night was going perfectly until I saw a flash of red at the top of the stairs. It was her. She was wearing a floor-length red silk dress, looking like she was headed to the Oscars. She didn't sneak in. She walked in like she owned the joint, clutching a gift bag and a wine glass she'd snatched from the downstairs bar. She shouted over the music that she was his partner and demanded the guard let her through. The room went dead silent. My fiancé gripped my hand so hard her knuckles turned white. I walked toward the stairs and stopped about 10 feet away. I told her she wasn't on the list and that she knew she shouldn't be within 3 blocks of this building. She let out this sharp, mocking laugh and stepped right into the center of the mezzanine, right under the future Mr. and Mrs. banner. She looked at our guests and told them not to be dramatic, saying she was just there to save my fiancé from a huge mistake. She looked my fiancé in the eye and said, "Honey, I know he seems perfect, but he's a liar. He cheated on me for years. He's a serial philanderer who uses women and tosses them aside. They cheated on me, they'll cheat on you too." Everyone gasped. My future father-in-law looked ready to throw hands. My ex was beaming. She thought the social embarrassment would protect her. She thought I'd be too ashamed to cause a scene and would just beg her to leave quietly. I just looked at her and said, "Everyone's entitled to their opinion." Then I reached into my suit jacket and pulled out a neatly folded packet of papers. I told the room that while she's entitled to an opinion, she isn't entitled to ignore a court order. I held up the permanent restraining order for everyone to see. Then I pulled out a second stack, the police reports. I listed them off, the stalking, the harassment, the slashed tires, the fake emails to my boss. I turned to the off-duty officers and told them she was in direct violation of a pro and that I wanted to press charges for everything. She lost it. The concerned friend mask slipped and she started screaming that the documents were forged and that I was a psychopath. Officer Miller, one of the guys I hired, didn't care. He told her she was under arrest for violating a court order and started reading her rights. As the handcuffs went on, she started shrieking that I was ruining her life. I reminded her that she ruined her own life 2 years ago when she decided her entitlement was more important than the law. They escorted her out in front of everyone. That red dress didn't look so high fashion when she was being shoved toward a patrol car. But here's the satisfying part. While she was obsessed with me, I'd been doing some digging. Her boss, the guy she cheated with, was a high-level exec at a firm with government contracts. She used to brag that she could get away with anything because of him. I'd spent months compiling evidence of her inflating expense reports and taking kickbacks from vendors. I didn't go to the cops with that. I went to her firm's compliance department. The Monday after the party, while she was sitting in a cell, her firm fired her boss for cause. Without his protection, they filed a massive civil suit against her for embezzlement and fraud. She isn't just looking at 90 days for the restraining order, she's looking at a total professional and financial wipeout. She called me once from jail using her one phone call. She was crying, saying I took everything and ruined her. I told her that she told everyone I was a liar, so I just decided to show them who the real professional was. I told her she wasn't a soulmate, she was a liability, and then I hung up. My fiancé and I are doing great. We learned that you don't have to be a doormat to take the high road. Sometimes the high road is just a better place to watch the person who tried to destroy you finish the job themselves. Justice is pretty sweet when it comes with a signed court order and a corporate audit. If you want to see more entitled people getting exactly what they deserve, make sure to subscribe. I promise my stories have better receipts than my ex's truth.